Raw crew, welcome back to the It's Not Fake Fan Cast. Again, we call ourselves a fan cast, but not a podcast. Podcast is reserved for journalists. We're not journalists. We're not reporters. We're not bookers. We're not interviewers. We're not insiders. We're not producers. We don't own shit. We don't know any wrestlers. We don't care to know any wrestlers. We will be interviewing wrestlers. But what we have done is spent our time, energy, effort, and money into something that we all love, which is professional wrestling. Now we're spending our time with you, the fans, because we ourselves are fans. Let me introduce you to the crew. Oh, wait. We don't have a crew tonight. It's just me. Your host, Ahmad, The Dark Show. And if you don't like my nickname, I'm going to pee on your gums. Now I want to give a shout out to my partners, Malakin B. Jones and my main man, Reg, a.k.a. Antonio Marks, the Marks man. Grown man John Cena fan cannot be here with us tonight. So it's just me holding down the fort. So I got a quick show for y'all. We're going to run down these Impact pay-per-view tapings. We're going to run down this NXT pay-per-view tapings. We are going to run down State of Wrestling, and then I'm going to tell y'all what the fuck is going on. So without further ado, headline of the week, Impact pay-per-view against all odds. Kenny Omega versus Moose for the Impact World Championship. Now, real quick, this was for the Impact World Championship. So if Moose had won, which he didn't, but if Moose had won, he'd have won the Impact Championship, but Kenny Omega would still be the TNA champion? Why wasn't it for both? That was fucking stupid. That just told me right there Kenny Omega was going to win. But I tell you what. Oh, and this took place at Daly's place. For some reason, Kenny Omega needed home court advantage. His heel tactics and Don Callis' assholeness took him to Daly's place in Florida. So that's where they had this match. In front of, they had some fans there. I'm not sure if they were backstage people or people they just let in, but it was cool. It was good enough. It was better than wrestling in an empty arena. Moose proved that he's a main eventer. Moose proved that not only can he carry a pay-per-view and Impact against a top Impact guy, he proved that he can carry a main event of a pay-per-view against the best wrestler in the world, which is right now Kenny Omega. This was a very solid match. Moose looked good during this match. He took hella bumps. He gave out a lot of work. We saw a lot of his arsenal. There was a lot of great moves from both guys. I didn't see any botches. So this was a clean, good match. Obviously, it was taped. It could have been edited. Doesn't matter. It was good. I will say this about Kenny. The work he's doing right now is definitely some of the best stuff going on in wrestling today. Just the story he tells with his character, even though he's not great on a microphone, his character comes across boldly. And then he tells even a better story in the ring with his matches. I mean, I know people get caught up in his antics and his personality and stuff, but when that bell rings, ain't too many people can do what he do, man. Not on the level that he does it. And he's a very hard worker day in and day out. This was a great match. I would like to see Moose maybe, I don't know, come off of this match with some kind of shine. Maybe appear on AEW a little bit. Maybe get him out there to a bigger audience, besides the Impact audience. I don't know what this does for Moose professionally, but I know in the eyes of fans, this definitely gives him another level on his notch. Or another notch on his level, however the fuck you want to say it. But that was a good match. I enjoyed it. I'll say this. I enjoyed this pay-per-view as a whole. Impact is definitely doing a great job right now. Now they're settled in. Now they have good booking. Now that they have quality TV and not some weird fucking channel that nobody has. They're doing their thing. The next most important match on this card to me was Deonna Purrazzo versus Rosemary. Rosemary is doing hella work right now. Her character has been awesome for years. She's getting great shine. She's also a former Knockouts champion, but she's getting more props now than she does then. And Deonna Purrazzo, what can you say? She's definitely on top of her game. These girls put on a good match. There was some kind of crazy stuff going on in this match a little bit. I didn't think it would end the way it did. You know, it just seemed. I thought Deanna would submit her. She did end up pinning her. She did take her down with a nasty, nasty, nasty pile driver. You just don't see that shit all the time. And then it was a good match. Rosemary took a hell of a bump on that one. I enjoyed that one too. I'm not gonna go through all these because I don't really have to get into it. Violent by Design did retain their tag team title against Crazy Steve and Black Tars. That was actually a good match too. I'm not going front. A lot of back and forth. That was surprisingly good because I'm not really too big on Rhino because he's, it's kind of long in the tooth, but it was quality. It's quality. Now, what I do want to talk about is Fire and Flavor versus Kimberly and Sue Young, aka Susan. I had a lot of fun in this match, and again, Fire and Flavor just proved why they're the best female tag team in the world, and people should start looking at them as one of the best tag teams in the world, because whether it's Tasha or whether it's Kara Hogan, these girls know what the hell they're doing. Their entrance is awesome. First of all, I love their entrance, especially Kara Hogan when she's coming to the ring. But you believe that they're a team. They present themselves like a team. They have confidence in their characters, and they put on hella matches. Their moves are awesome. They sell really well. Like they give it up to their opponents, and they make it look like they could possibly lose during this match. There was a couple of spots where I thought they might be losing, but that's also credit to Sue Young. I'm not taking anything away from Kimberly. She's more of a character to me, even though she does some moves, and she did a swanton that was crazy. I didn't expect that from her. But I mean, what can you say about Susan? I mean, she's been like 18 different characters. No matter what you ask her to do, she does it. And she took the majority of this match against Fire and Flavor, and she really held it down. She was great. I thought this was the match of the night for me. Again, we're going to run through these. Tenille Dashwood, aka what was her name in WWE? Emily. Emily in WWE. Now she's Tenille Dashwood. She defeated Jordan Grace. It was kind of a roll-up thing. Now I'm going to talk about Morrissey versus Rich Swann. This was straight up to get Morrissey over. This had nothing to do with any kind of storyline, with making Rich Swann look good. This was to literally build Morrissey as a monster and as a contender, because he's sitting there, he's beating the last Impact champion. So by him and Rich Swann, he never got his rematch. So we got a guy who just lost the title, who was just champion for however long, and you got this guy coming in. By the way, this guy's big cast. Morrissey's coming in, and he looks great. I mean, he looks like a monster. He got himself in hella shape. But this match was a straight up showcase for him. I mean, he no sold the Phoenix Splash, picked him up into an F5, like just throwing Rich Swann around, dominating him, then ended up beating him with some crazy running power bomb throw shit. It was just disgusting. He also power bombed him like another 4 times before that. But I guess this is saying like, hey, Morrissey is going to be one of your contenders, whether it's going to be against Kenny Omega for the Impact title or whether he has to go through Moose first, which I'm looking forward to something like that. I'm here for this. I didn't like them using Rich Swann as a tackling dummy, as a crash test dummy. I thought that was kind of fucked up, being that he was just a fucking champion. He was just wrestling Kenny Omega on the fucking pay-per-view in the main event for all the belts. And then you put him in a fucking squash match on the next pay-per-view? Yeah, that's bad booking. You should have got somebody else for that bullshit. So, my fuck that match winner of the night was for the #1 contender for the X Division title. This was Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Raju, Trey Miguel, and Petey Williams. Shouts out to Petey Williams. This is a 5-way for the #1 contender. First of all, you're not having the X Division championship match on this card. card where you got Kenny Omega main eventing, but you have a number one contender match on a pay-per-view, and then we don't even get a real number one motherfucking contender. Like, who booked this bullshit match? Look, I'm all for watching Peter Williams do the Canadian Destroyer. I'm all for crazy high-flying spots and these great X Division matches. But you bring out Madman Fulton, right? All right, so you bring out Madman Fulton to start cleaning house. I will give you this. Madman did have the spot of the match. And if you didn't watch it, try to picture this. He has one guy in a power slam position. Two guys try to jump on him and beat him down, right? He grabs them both with both of his hands in the choke slam position while he's holding another guy in the power slam position. So he has three guys. Then my man wants to come jump off the top rope on some Hurricanrana shit, and he gets caught. So now we got a power bomb. Both his hands are around the necks of two other guys, and he's holding another guy in a power slam position. He lifts the guys up, choke slams them as he's coming down. He power bombs one guy, power slams the other guy, and choke slams two guys. I know that shit sounded weird. Go back and watch it. That was a great spot. So the match ends in a no contest because Madman comes in and beats everybody's ass. So why call this my fuck that match of the night? You already have this match as bullshit being a number one contender match when you could just have an X Division title match. So you don't have an X Division title match. Now I know why. Because you want to bring in Madman Fulton to cause all this fuckery, and you end this bullshit in no contest instead of adding him to the match, which could have easily been done with somebody coming out with a fucking microphone. What's the point? To get Madman over? You could have done it after the match. Eat a dick. Eat a dick on that one. Joey Doring versus Eddie Edwards. No, I'm sorry. Joey Doring versus Satoshi Kojima. Okay match. Joey Doring won. So what? Sami Callihan versus Tommy Dreamer and Tommy Dreamer versus the Good Brothers. This actually was a late addition and actually opened the card. And it was actually a really good match. It was actually a really, really good match that ended with, I believe, Sami Callihan hit Carl Anderson with a bat and pinned him, which is what you would expect from Sami Callihan, being that he's always using the bat. Again, I didn't expect too much out of this match, but it ended up being really good. Shouts out to Tommy Dreamer still doing his damn thing. So when's the Impact pay-per-view? I actually enjoyed this pay-per-view a lot, even though there were some bullshit matches like that X Division match. And there were some filler matches, Joey Doring match and all that. But for the most part, I enjoyed this. I didn't expect any titles to change because the Slammiversary is next month. And that's their main WrestleMania type pay-per-view, that and Bound for Glory. So I figured everybody would retain, and it would either end some storylines to start something new going into Slammiversary or continue stuff to going into Slammiversary. And I think they accomplished both. I think we're going to see something come out of the Moose deal, because obviously that match ended with the Young Bucks interference, and it caused Moose to lose, like I called on the pre-show. I did call that. So we're going to see some come out of that. We're going to see some come out of the fuckery with the X Division with Madman Fulton. Obviously, Big Cass just defeated the last champion. So what is he going to? He's going to come out. He's going to call out Kenny Omega, maybe? I don't know. It's Thursday. I haven't watched Impact yet, so we'll find out in a couple of hours. I also thought you continue the dominance of Violent by Design. I'm enjoying what they're doing. I always like factions. I think factions are good for wrestling, especially if they're done correctly. And these guys have the tag titles. These guys have Eric Young. Eric Young is a phenomenal talent. I think we're going to keep going with that. And we'll see what happens with the Good Brothers. They kind of took them out of the title picture. But again, we're going to see what's going on. Again, I enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. I think there was a lot of action, especially Fire and Flavor had a lot of action in their match. The main event had a lot of action. Even Deonna Purrazzo and Rosemary. You had the tag team title match was really good. So again, I get us a B+. Good job on Impact. So, moving on to the NXT In Your House Takeover event. Let's start from the top, man. Karrion Kross, another dominant performance. It actually ended differently. I actually thought Johnny Wrestling would take the pin, but the way they did it, I get it. You know, you Kyle O'Reilly with a submission on Adam Cole. Then Karrion Kross comes to put the submission on Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly passes out, match over. You continue this dominance of Karrion Kross. I get it. Um, I already know where it's going to go from here. I'll touch on that in a second after I'm done with this pay-per-view. But you're almost making him look too unbeatable now at this point. I mean, I know there's a bunch of small guys. He gets in there and starts throwing everybody around, just bulldozes people. Eventually, somebody going to get in his face and do something. I wonder who that could be. But no, man, that was a good match, man. I mean, it's hard to pull off a good match with a fatal five-way, unless it's an elimination style where you guys kind of work everything in. But I enjoyed it. Good match. Good good stories being told during the match. Obviously, we saw the Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole shit continue. Obviously, there was a lot of funny shit. Yeah, the Gargano dressed like Shawn Michaels and did like the Shawn Michaels stuff before the match. I thought that was cool, man. Pete Dunne is the man. You got a lot of guys here. It's almost getting crowded now. Who's getting called up? Adam Cole, he doesn't have to be there. Call him up. What more can he do? You're just gonna keep using them for name power in these matches? Why? It's time to keep building these guys up. Kyle O'Reilly, you're gonna build up Pete Dunne, but keep pushing them guys, man. You're pushing Karrion Kross to the moon. What do you need Adam Cole down there for? It's time for him to get called up. I'm tired of the bullshit. Like, no, seriously. Call up Adam Cole for real. Then we had Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon. It was whatever. Rocky won. Raquel Gonzalez won the match. She's really good. Ember Moon is just fucking okay. I mean, she presents better than she really is, and she's almost she's presented better than what she is, and she herself presents better than what she is because outside of her finisher, she doesn't really do shit. Not nothing that we've ever seen before, and I think she's a Kara Hogan knockoff, honestly, and Kara Hogan is 100 times better. So, and Kara Hogan looks better too, you know, that matters. But again, Raquel Gonzalez is good. I don't have any problems with her still being champion. I know her and Dakota Kai have some kind of dynamic going, and we're going to see something continue with that. But I'm okay with that one. No doubt. No doubt. The LA Knight Cameron Grimes match, that was a fun match. It was nostalgic. You had $1 million title hanging up for grabs. I think the right guy won. LA Knight did win the match, by the way. Ted DiBiase cut a great promo. He was there ringside. He presented the belt to LA Knight. It was cool to see that, especially somebody my age. Xia Li versus Mercedes Martinez. Figured it was another showcase match for Xia Li. Mercedes didn't stand a chance. She was there to do her job. She did it. At the end, you had the crazy Mei Ying out there looking all wild and all that. So I enjoyed it. Okay match. MSK and Bronson Reed versus Legado del Fantasma. This match was fucking stupid. The premise of the match was fucking stupid. I hate this winner take all bullshit. You're just being lazy. Book a singles match and book a tag team match. If you don't have time for one of them, put one on fucking NXT. You don't have to do this winner take all bullshit because no one really cares that much about either of these titles to really be all the way invested into the storyline. I mean, I know you're building Bronson Reed up to be something. I don't know what yet, but something. But other than that, whatever. But they won, MSK and Bronson Reed. So that was some quick shit, man. It wasn't a long pay-per-view. Those guys got time to put on good matches, though. I enjoyed it. Again, I'm gonna give this one a B plus. Also, it could have got an A if it wasn't for the bullshit of Bronson Reed and The Xia Li versus Mercedes Martinez was total filler and total showcase for Xia Lee, if I'm saying that correctly. So it was all right. It was whatever. I like longer pay-per-views with more matches, even though these guys did good time. But the fact, the main event was another bulldozer showcase for Karrion Kross. Ember Moon wasn't impressive, even though it was a pretty good match. And the whole winner-take-all thing was bullshit. I'm giving it a B. The Impact pay-per-view was better. If I give that a B+, I'm giving shit a B. Not a B-, but a B. Now, Karrion Kross. Was wondering where he's going with this, how many times he's going to beat up the same guys. But then we got a nice little surprise there. Samoa Joe makes his return, not just to WWE, but to NXT to face Karrion Kross. He got in his face and let him know what time it was. Let him know I'm the next contender. Now, Samoa Joe is not a 210-pound guy. Samoa Joe is not some 5'11", 190-pound dude who thinks he's going to chop down a tree. No, Samoa Joe's a big cat. Samoa Joe's also a legend. Karrion Kross, yes, he beat Finn Balor. Finn Balor's a little smaller. Samoa Joe's a big dude who'll toss your ass around, Karrion Kross. So it's going to be fun. I think this is a good storyline, and I hope it doesn't lead to Karrion Kross squashing Joe somewhere down the line just to get Karrion over, to make him look great. I hope they didn't bring Joe back just to get Karrion Kross over. You're gonna if you're gonna bring Joe back and put him in NXT, you do something with him. You don't just use him to get another fucking guy over. Because this guy should be on Raw. He should be going after Roman Reigns on SmackDown. It's just Samoa fucking Joe. He should be in the main event on the main roster. So if you are going to bring him back, if you are going to put him on NXT, he better kick Karrion Kross' ass once or twice. Period. Anyway, moving on. So I'm going to touch on what's going on in wrestling right now. Shit is kind of... And I'll get to this later. Monday Night Raw. I see where they're going. We have to get the Hell in a Cell, right? We have a go-home show. So you got to keep the energy that you've had. I get it. But when you can't keep putting the same guy in multiple segments because it takes away from stuff. I understand you want Drew McIntyre built up before the Hell in a Cell. You got him wrestling twice. Then you add in kind of like the Viking Raiders. And then you have him beat the world champion and then the tag team champions. Because the main event was Drew McIntyre and the fucking Viking Raiders versus Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Omos, the tag team champions. But before that, we had Drew McIntyre defeated AJ Styles by disqualification. I get it. How many times have we seen this? How many times is WWE going to keep using this particular format? Match starts, ends in some kind of DQ or some kind of fuckery. Now it's announced that, hey, now it's a tag team match or a triple threat match with the same guys. You're just filling up spots. How many guys you got on the roster? You could have got rid of that Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles bullshit and used somebody that you haven't used in a while. Like Mustafa Ali, maybe. I don't know. Maybe use him. No? The fuck, bro? Like, seriously, think about this. Like, where was the mid-card title in this? You had two matches, the same guy, back-to-back. He goes over both times. I know you want to build him. Just have him go over in the last match in the main event like he did. He pinned Lashley with a Claymore. That's enough to build towards Hell in a Cell. You didn't need to do the whole AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre match. Just to build to this, just call a match in the beginning of the show. It's fuckery. I understand why they did it. I'm just sick of seeing that. Ugh. John Morrison versus Jeff Hardy, I enjoyed that match. I mean, these guys worked together before. Uh, it's about time. You have to do something with John Morrison instead of just having him with The Miz. Right? The guy's a hell of a talent. You're wasting the prime of his career. And you brought him back for a reason. Let him work. And they let him work. He got the victory over a sound guy with Jeff Hardy, even though Jeff Hardy's been taking some beatings lately. And then after the match, what do? You use the same guy in another spot. John Morrison versus Jeff Hardy, good enough for me. So why Cedric Alexander had to come along and be like, Jeff Hardy, you ain't shit. I beat you. So I beat you again. And Jeff Hardy's like, well, beat me right now. I'm like, all right, come in the ring. I'll beat you right now. And then Jeff Hardy wrestles again and beats Cedric Alexander. Where's this going? Where's that leave John Morrison then? John Morrison just won the match. So you're going to put Jeff Hardy in another match? How many guys do you have on this fucking roster you could have just filled in with? Have Cedric fight someone else. Why bring him ringside, have him talk some shit after the man loses, and then have him lose to the guy that lost? You're trying to bury Cedric? That was dumb. Piper Niven defeated Naomi. Now, I understand you want to get Piper over. She's new. She just came to the roster. She was in the Mae Young Classic. She probably should have got signed a while ago, but because of her look, people act funny behind the scenes or whatever. They don't hire people for certain reasons, but you gave this girl a shot. I get it. Got her with Eva Marie. Eva Marie cannot fucking wrestle. You need a pinch hitter for Eva Marie because the bitch can't wrestle. I get it. You don't have to squash Naomi, though. Why squash her? Why is it Naomi with the Usos and Roman Reigns anyway? Like, what the fuck is going on there? Isn't she a part of the family? Send her to SmackDown. Let her go handle her business there with her husband and shit. But no, you got her getting squashed by the new girl. Fuck all that. And you got Eve Marie coming to the ring say, oh, I won. She's 3 weeks away from getting fired again anyway, if you ask me. I mean, I'm not running down all these matches because the shit don't make, who cares? But Alexa Bliss, I'll say this. She did have her show. Again, using her in 2 segments, though. The show opened with her playground, right? Talking shit, whatever. Then you have her against Nia Jax. So she beat Shayna Baszler last week. She's wrestling Nia Jax. She should have beat her. It led to a disqualification. Is Alexa Bliss the face now? She's working as a face in this match. What's going on? You building into a title shot? Where does that leave her storyline with Bray? Is there a storyline with Bray? Are we leading to something with The Fiend? Or are we just having Alexa Bliss bogart Bray's character, take all this shit, take all his ideas, throw him on Alexa Bliss, and let her start beating up the women's division? All 115 pounds of her, beating up 270-pound Nia Jax? That's believable. Yeah, I don't know, WWE, man. I don't know about Raw. Raw sucked this week a little bit. But we head towards Hell in a Cell. I definitely want to see what's going to happen. There's a lot going on. Rhea Ripley is doing her thing. She's a good champion. And her versus Charlotte Flair is good stuff. I'm not mad at that at all. What I'm mad at is stop using Asuka as a crash test dummy. Stop beating up Asuka. Move her on to something else. There's plenty of women on the roster that you can feed to Rhea Ripley. You're making Asuka look bad. I do think Ripley versus Flair, though, is quality. It's quality. Those girls can get it on. I enjoy seeing them wrestle. Hopefully, and I'm not sure. It's just a Hell in a Cell match, actually, but we're going to see something. I think Flair goes over, though. Flair's going to take that belt because she's Charlotte Flair, and that's just what it is. Again, I think going into Hell in a Cell, Lashley McIntyre definitely has the potential to be a great Hell in a Cell match. This should be the end, though. This should be the end of this storyline. We have to build towards Money in the Bank. We have to build towards SummerSlam. Let's not have this keep carrying over, right? Let's have finality here. I believe Lashley should go over. Then you move him on to the next guy. Then we got Money in the Bank. Let that go down the way it's going to go down going into SummerSlam. Okay? That's how I look at that. Again, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. We should get some finality here. Hell in a Cell again. This has been going on for a while. It's time to end it. Whoever wins, I think it's going to be Charlotte. I just hope it's a good match. Don't care about what's going on too much. AJ and almost being the tag team champions against the Viking Raiders. Who cares? Right? Who really gives a fuck about that bullshit? Alexa Bliss, though. Where are we going with this? I keep asking this question every week. Where the fuck are we going with Alexa Bliss? Is this just is she on the road to the title? Are you just stalling her out until Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair are done doing their shit, and then she's going to come and do some freaky shit to whoever that champion is? Or are we having this girl beat up women and doing all this weird supernatural shit until Bray comes back? Where are we going with this? And when is Randy Orton going to RKO Matt Riddle out of nowhere? Waiting on that one, because we already know what's going to happen there. So I'm cool with the Raw roster. They got to get more continuity with their booking. And stop using the same person in different. You use Jeff Hardy in 2 segments, use Alexa Bliss in 2 segments, and use Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles in 2 segments. Your roster is too fucking big for that. Give somebody else a fucking segment. Mustafa Ali. Anyway, that takes us to SmackDown. SmackDown from the prior week. I like SmackDown better than I like Raw. Honestly, their storylines just have better continuity. The whole Roman Reigns Usos dynamic is a storyline in itself. The Usos going after the tag team titles is like a branch of that storyline, being that Roman Reigns like, yo, y'all better go get them titles. But they can't beat Ray and Dominic. Ray and Dominic are doing their thing, and it's pissing Roman off. So while you have Roman with his family dynamic, that storyline, you also have the Usos versus the Mysterio storyline. And then you throw in Roman against the Mysterios, which is leading us to Roman versus Ray. Now, that's how you do a motherfucking story. Why can't they do that on Raw? I guess they got different story writers, different bookers, but that's a fun storyline to watch. And no matter what happens with the Mysterios, that can go away, and you still got this dynamic with the family. They're still having issues, especially if the Usos don't go get them titles. We don't know what's going to happen there, and I'm enjoying SmackDown's main event storyline because their main event storyline is bleeding into their mid card storylines, which are them tag team titles, which is elevating everybody involved. It's elevating Ray and Dominic. I mean, Ray doesn't need elevation, but it's elevating Dominic, tag teaming with his dad. That's good to see. That's a family dynamic right there. You got the Usos, who are brothers, who are cousins of Roman. That's a family dynamic. So even the tag team versus tag team dynamic is a good storyline. And then you add in Roman Reigns with his own family issues with the Usos and attacking the Mysterios because of that. That's a well thought out, well planned storyline. Kudos to them for that. I don't know what the fuck they doing on Raw though. Seth Rollins and Cesaro, again, well thought out storyline. I'm enjoying this. You don't know what's going to happen. These guys put on fantastic match at WrestleMania. Fantastic. And they're going to kill it on Sunday. They had the ding dong hello with Bailey. Seth Rollins was there. Rang the bell, knock knock or whatever, and Cesaro's at the door. Bow. Awesome. And then Bianca comes out, tags Bailey. You know what I mean? You're giving Bianca good light. She's going against a woman who's well established, former world champion, a main eventer who reinvented herself through another character. And Bianca Belair is a super face fighting a super heel, and that's the way it should be. I'm enjoying that. You just built 2 Hell in a Cell matches in 1 segment. Imagine that. So on Raw, you got multiple people in 2 segments. On SmackDown, you handle 4 people in 1 fucking segment. The fuck? Not much else happened on that. We had Shinsuke beat King Corbin. Montez Ford got he won by tag out by disqualification because he was attacked by Otis or whatever. Liv Morgan beat Carmella. Now, you push Carmella with all these promos. You bring her back to do what? I hate when they do that. That's that Aleister Black shit. No, Carmella didn't get released, but it's the same thing. You build her up. You do these promos. You change the character to do what? Lose. But again, SmackDown is a great show. I enjoy watching. It's one of the few shows that I anticipate watching because I know that Roman Reigns, Usos, and now with the Mysterios dynamic is going to be fun to watch. I always enjoy shit like that. So there you had those rundowns. WWE, Impact, NXT. It's a lot of fun. When the boys get back, we will be touching on more stuff with AEW. There's a lot going on there. I think they're kind of up in the air with a few things. I know they're still in the red. They're not making much money right now. I don't know how that's going to affect everything. I know they're about to release a new show. I'm figuring these NBA playoffs are affecting their ratings. But let's see where they go with it. With Kenny Omega kind of multitasking and stretching himself thin, they got to find a way to build their characters underneath him. So we're just waiting on that. I'll wait for the boys to get back to kind of have a discussion on that, right? So, next thing I want to talk about, and this goes back, let's talk about what I was talking about with Monday Night Raw. I don't like some of the things that happen on the Raw program. I'm not agreeing with some of them. Am I going to stop watching? No. Why? Because I enjoy watching Raw. I enjoy watching SmackDown. I enjoy watching the WWE. Do they do some things that I don't like Bray Wyatt? Yes. They do a few things that I don't like. But I do like the show. Okay? It's your favorite show. So on TV, sometimes they might do something that you don't like. I said it last time. You may love Sons of Anarchy, but when they killed Opie, you was pissed. It didn't make you stop watching the show just because they did something you didn't like. There's a difference between that and constantly complaining and bitching about a whole company. We got fans out here talking about, oh, fuck the WWE. They don't know wrestling. It sucks all the time. How would you know it sucked unless you kept watching it? Me personally, if I watch something and it sucked, I will stop fucking watching it, bro. Why are you watching something that sucks? The fuck? Why are you watching something that you don't like? Look, I don't like hockey. You don't see me watching hockey sitting around bitching about it. You don't see me going on social media, the NHL sucks. I hate hockey, but I'm going to keep watching. Y'all sound fucking stupid. Y'all sound like some real incel, nerdy, cornball haters. Because you're going to sit there and tell me the WWE sucks. WWE programming sucks. Their storylines suck. They don't let the wrestlers do this. They don't let the wrestlers do that. The promos are pre-written. It sucks. Then why are you watching? Oh, we got wrestling on 5 days a fucking week. Why are you worried about 2 shows if they suck? Why are you constantly complaining about Raw, complaining about SmackDown, complaining about their pay-per-views and their characters and their fucking storylines? If you don't like it, don't watch. You can watch NXT on Tuesday. You can watch AEW on Wednesday. And you can watch Impact on Thursday. You can pay $10 a month with your broke ass. Pay for the app and watch New Japan every fucking day. How about getting Fight TV and watching Impact content for free all day long, every day. Ring of Honor is on there. NWA is on there. Go there and watch your wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan, just because you don't like the WWE means you have to stop watching wrestling. No, if you don't like WWE, don't watch WWE. Who gives a fuck? I start giving a fuck when I'm constantly looking at shit on social media, when I'm constantly looking at shit on YouTube, when I'm constantly hearing fans, podcasters, journalists constantly complain about the WWE. Yo, shouts out to Wrestling Observer. I love them. I've been following them for a long time. But yo, bro, I know it's your job to report on a product, but I'm tired of you bitching about it. Oh, where are we going? Oh, what are we, what are they doing with this guy? Their programming is so horrible. What are they doing? Like, I'm so sick of hearing guys like Brian Alvarez bitch and complain about WWE. It's just like, bro, stop reporting on it, then. I'm tired of hearing these fans at least Brian Alvarez has a job to do. Okay? But these fans, why are you wasting your money? You're paying $9.99 for Peacock. You're buying merch. You're now about to go to shows again. And if you don't have Peacock, you're buying pay-per-view. You're paying for cable so you can watch Raw and SmackDown. Why bother do any of this shit if you don't like WWE? I've never seen such a group of people. This is so unique to me. I've never seen a group of people not like something and continue to watch it. I don't like Judge Judy. I don't watch Judge Judy. I'm not going to sit there and watch Judge Judy and be like, oh, I hate this shit. Oh, she's always bitching. Oh, this lady hates people. She doesn't like men. I'm going to sit there and watch that and torture myself for an hour? No. Out of sight, out of mind. I don't need that stress in my life. And I get it. Some of the fans are going to be like, well, we've been watching wrestling for all this time, and we shouldn't have to stop watching just because the product is bad. What the fuck does that mean? If the product's bad, stop watching. It's like the people who's like, oh, I'm not watching the NFL anymore because guys kneeled in protest. That's a fucking lie. You still watched. You didn't stop watching football because you didn't like football. You stopped watching for some other stupid ass reason. Right? You may still watch your team and not watch the rest of the product, right? Because of what? Stupid. Just almost as dumb as WWE fans that hate on the product. How can you be a fan and hate what you're watching? You can't be a fan of something and then say that you hate it. I'm a fan of the Sixers. Do they piss me off? Yes. Do they do shit that I hate? Yes. Do I hate them? No. I love the Sixers. I don't like everything they do. I love the WWE. I don't like everything they do. So ask yourself, as a dumbass fan, if you're sitting there and you keep complaining about WWE, how much you hate it, how much you don't like it, why are you watching? Like, what compels you to watch something you don't like? It's like my cousin Najee. Shouts out to Najee, editing engineer. If he don't like fucking Raw, he not going to watch. We got a podcast to do. But if that nigga don't like fucking watching Raw, if he hates what's going on, guess what he's not watching? Raw. There's other programming. He'll watch NXT. Even though it's still WWE, it's a different program. It's like I just got done saying. What they're doing on SmackDown is night and day compared to what they're doing on Raw, no doubt. And what they're doing on Raw sometimes pisses me off, no doubt. But the WWE knows what the fuck they're doing. Whether we like it or not, it doesn't matter. eventually they're going to give you what you want, which is to be entertained. We watch it for entertainment. It's positive. Whether you like what's going on, whether you agree with a storyline, whether you agree with what they're doing with this character, are you entertained or not? Is it fun or not? Because that's all wrestling is supposed to do. It's not supposed to make little Johnny feel better about himself. And it's not going to cater to your stupid ass. They got millions of fans to cater to. And they got to figure out a way to touch each and every one of you. So they make it entertaining on different levels. Because something that you don't like, someone else is loving. There's people out there who love what Alexa Bliss is doing. They're not even thinking about Bray Wyatt. Somewhere, in far reaches and far corners of this universe, there are RK Bro fans. I don't know where they're at, but they're somewhere. Somewhere. Somebody. Roman Reigns is their favorite wrestler. But because you don't like it, you don't agree with it, or you think you have a better idea what they should be doing, you're going to hate on it. And say, oh, I hate the WWE. I'm not watching this shit no more. And you tune in the very next week and you watch the pay-per-views just to get pissed. You're bringing negativity into something that's positive. Just because your life is shitty doesn't mean you got to take that out on other shit. Don't watch and don't bring your negativity to any kind of platform. It's one thing for a reporter to report and give his opinion. But how are you a fan of something that you don't like, though? It's not your job to be a fan. It's not your job to hate something as a fan. That's retarded. R word. That's dumb. It's dumb. You're not a fan if you watch something that you hate. You're not a fan of it because you hate it and you don't like it. So why are you watching it? And I personally know people like this. They're bums in their own life. Their own life sucks. So what do? They look for things to hate on to bring negativity into something that's positive, that other people enjoy. Just because their life is trash. I'm a big WWE fan. I've been watching it since I was 6 years old. I've never stopped watching it. And I've never agreed with all of what they've done. I'm not always liking what they do, but I'm always entertained by it. That's why I kept coming back. So you as a dumbass fan that's hating on WWE, ask yourself, why did you keep coming back? I kept coming back because I'm always entertained by it, whether I like what's going on or not. But you sit there and you complain and you bitch, and then when something good does happen, you're like, oh, it's about time. Let's see what they do now. You hating on the shit that you wanted to happen. Sound like a fucking idiot. All of you. Don't watch. Stop bringing negativity into something that's positive. It's a kid's show. it's a live action cartoon stage play with choreographed fighting. That sounds like a lot of fun to me. This is male soap opera. And they end up punching each other in the face. They don't just sit there and argue like other soap operas. They actually get it on, and we get matches out of it, and we get payoffs. Whether you like it or not, you're still watching, you're still entertained. So don't walk away from that and then get on Facebook or whatever, Twitter or whatever, and say that you hate it because you just watched it for 3 hours or more. And you hate it. I would never, ever watch something for 3 hours that I hate. I'm not watching something for 3 fucking minutes that I hate, 3 seconds. Why? Why are you, as a wrestling fan, And if you are a real wrestling fan, go watch some other wrestling then. There's plenty of other wrestling for your dumbass to watch. I'm just sick of the negativity. I'm sick of the WWE hate just because it's a trendy thing to do. Is hate on WWE because it's cool to hate on WWE. No, it's not cool. You sound fucking stupid. You sound like a bum. You sound like your life sucks. All right? What are you going to say about people who watch WWE and you're a wrestling fan? Oh, you guys aren't cool. I'm the coolest wrestling fan you ever fucking met. I'm not in mommy's basement. I don't work at Walmart. You can water ski down my neck and ice skate down my wrist. I got a $100,000 car parked outside. I'm not no fucking geek. And I love WWE. So what does that make you, WWE hater, in your mommy's basement? Or in some broke ass shack fucking room apartment where you're all dirty and stinking? What does that make you? You're online on your tablet or on your phone because you can't afford a laptop, saying, oh, fuck WWE. I can do so much better. So take your ass to school, learn how to write, learn how to format, and become a booker. Better yet, start your own fucking wrestling company where you can get on there and say pro wrestling, right? You can get on there and say belts and straps. You mad because you can't say pro wrestling on WWE programming? That really makes you mad? Does it make you mad that you can't say belts and straps on WWE? Does that make you mad? Makes you hate it? Well, I got one last thing for you. Stop fucking watching it. Tired of you people. I'm tired of you bringing negativity to something that I love, something that's positive for me. How many things are positive in this world nowadays? How many things are just 100% just to entertain you? 100%. No agenda, no other shit going on. The wrestling, pro wrestling in itself is in this entertainment bubble that can't be penetrated. And if you're inside of that bubble, just be entertained. And if you're not entertained, find something else to do and watch. But don't bring your bullshit to me. I don't want to see it. I don't want to read it. I don't want to hear about it. And if you don't like what I'm saying, I go to live shows all the time. From Philadelphia, Baltimore, New York, DC. If you see me at a live show, come talk to me about it. I'll let you know exactly what type of incel, punk ass motherfucker you are. Because you're not a real fan. You're not a real fan because you're watching something you don't like. How can you be a fan? You're an idiot. That's what you are. Because you're wasting 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours of your time on something that you don't want to do. You might as well do overtime at your Walmart job if you want to spend 3 hours doing something you don't want to do. That's all I got. Stop bringing negativity to something so positive. Just be entertained. Or stop watching. Well, that does it for the show today. Again, I'd like to give a shout out to my crew, the Raw Crew, Malik B. Jones. See you next time, brother. Tag team partner, Reg, a.k.a. Antonio Marks, the Marks man, grown man John Cena fan, do. My cousin, my blood, my brother, Najee. This is going to be the easiest edit ever. And again, I am your host, The Dark Show, and we out. It's true. It's damn true.